You got it? Is that it? Okay. Um, all right, so today I'm going to show you how to check for alignment between your front and back wheels. There could be a couple of primary reasons why your front and back wheel might be misaligned. One is because your back wheel might not have been correctly tightened on both sides of the axle when you tightened your chain. The other reason could be if you dropped your bike on your handlebars and your forks kind of got misaligned. So you see these two forks here, if you fall, there's a little bit of push over here. You can end up like twisting one of them and causing the front wheel to be misaligned with the fork, as well as the rest of the frame. So what that ends up doing, if the back wheel is misaligned, is you could start having the back wheel kind of be sort of in the wrong direction of where the bike is actually going. And so what ends up happening is you have tire wear, and also you have really weird handling issues, you know. So, but if the front wheel is misaligned, that's a bit more problematic because you are no longer steering in the direction of travel, and you are also going to be counter steering in a direction that the tire is aligned against. So if the tire is misaligned this way, you're going to be putting a lot more force here, sometimes even without realizing, and you have all sorts of weird handling issues. So it's really important for the front and back wheels to be aligned in the motorcycle. So how did I do this? So the first step is, if you look at the back wheel here, you'll see that you're probably used to doing this when you tighten your chain. But typically when you tighten your chain, you kind of push this axle piece here back, and you do the same on this other side. So what you want to make sure is that when you tighten your chain, you want to make sure that this side of the axle and the other side of the axle are equally distant from the rest of the frame. So the best way to check for this is to use something called a vernier caliper. So here, again, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm going to be using millimeters here, but you could be using inches. It doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be like within, a millimeter of variance. So the easiest way to do this is I kind of take this piece of the vernier caliper, and then I kind of push it against the axle slider. I guess I don't know the exact term for this thing. And then let me see. So here I'm getting about 19.9 millimeters. I go to the other side and I do the same thing. Let's see. It's about 21 millimeters. So we're a little off. So about a millimeter off. It's not a big deal. Maybe I could have, loosened that one a bit so that it got pushed out a bit. So what that's telling me is that this wheel is slightly tilted towards the right. So that means I'm getting a little bit power going to the right. If it was more than a millimeter, I'd be concerned. If it was like a 5 millimeter difference, but this is not a big deal. So then, once you know that you're within sufficient range there, you know that the back wheel is relatively aligned. What you want to do next is check that your front handlebars are perfectly straight. Right? The way you do that, again, you want to be approximate. You do not have to be exact. Is to take a measuring tape and find a point here on the handlebar on your left side, and bring it up here. It's about a 46 and a quarter, looks like. And do the same thing on this side. It's about 46 and a quarter. So I know that my handlebar is straight with the rest of the frame. And so now what you want to check is you want to check that the front axle and the back axle are perfectly aligned, because you know that the handlebar is perfectly straight compared to the rest of the bike. You want to make sure that the bottom of the fork and the bottom of the back axle are also aligned. So the way you do this, I've improvised a plumb line here, and where I did this was I took a piece from my socket set and I took a little bit of tape, attached it to a piece of twine, and what that lets you do is take a constant distance from any point on your bike all the way to the ground. Measures a set point on the ground that corresponds to any point on your bike without any parallax errors. So here, this is how I kind of did it. Go all the way down, and I marked. So again, it's going to be exact. And I took a black marker, pointed that point here, took some sticky tape, took some twine, and did that here, the back side as well. Similarly, let's go all the way down here. And as you can see, it's about here, right here, there's a black point there. So next, I do that on the other side. And all you do next is you take measuring tape, measure the distance all the way from that black point to here. So I'm getting about 55.5 millimeters, I mean 55.5 inches. And do the same on the other side. Wanna hold that for me? Let's be helper. Alright. What am I getting there, helper?
55.5 inches.
Nice. We are aligned, folks, and that's it. Do this anytime you feel like you've done a chain adjustment, or if you've dropped your bike. You'll have a lot more peace of mind. Thank you, and have a great rest of your weekend, folks.